What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be talking about how to recognize when each sign is operating in a low vibration. So, let's get into it. All right, party people. So, before I get into it, I want to start off by being honest and to the point. I feel like my time in astrology is coming to an end. And I don't feel like I'll ever stop discussing astrology, but I'm acknowledging a need to want to be seen as something different than an astrologer because I have much more to offer. And I really want to let you guys know that most people do not actually understand the role astrology can play in their life. As much as I personally try to show you guys it's deeper than personality and how people act, the fact of the matter is there's like so many others that focus on that, and therefore collectively people associated with that. As I grow, and I love my own growth, as I grow and I continue to connect with people and I genuinely listen, I realize that astrology is holding a lot of people back from actually living a spiritual life. So I have to let you know, astrology is not enough to be living a spiritual life. Astrology is just a blueprint of the self. There are so many other parts of the journey. I think it's very important that people out there take this part very seriously. I take great pride in the amount of work that I've done on my spiritual journey in total. Neptune, of course, is in Pisces, and I realized how I've projected myself as an astrologer hasn't allowed the full validity of my journey to be seen. But I kind of expect those who are actually tuning into me and listening understand what it is. Today, we'll be talking about how to identify when someone is operating in a low vibration. One of the first things I want you to know about this is that when someone is operating in a low vibrational state, when there is something that they need to hear, like a message or something that comes up, a low vibrational person is going to become defensive towards that truth. And a very skilled low vibrational person, let's say someone with a good Mercury, is going to try to persuade you as to why their ignorant belief is right. Even if internally they don't believe so, they feel compelled out of the vibration to defend it. I'm going to give to you an example, and this relates to spirituality. You can know your chart all you want. And I'm telling you, 60% of people don't know aspects. They know signs, planets, and houses. They don't know aspects. So you can know astrology to whatever depths you want. And that can inflate your ego spiritually to make you think you understand something. But if you've never fasted during the time of knowing your chart or acquiring the spiritual knowledge, I'm sorry, you are a kindergartner. You have not passed kindergarten of spirituality if you've never fasted, much less attempted a 3-day fast. If you want to manifest something, a spell or ritual ain't enough. It's other things that are required to give up or sacrifice to strengthen that manifestation. I just gotta let people know I've never manifested or asked for a large audience. I've always only asked to bring those to me who understand me and respect me and my message. So, I live with that, okay? And I have no problem with the people who come to me. I love it. I just want to make sure you're using the information correctly. But I'm being honest, a lot of people, astrology has taken them out the game and just kept them here logically. So if you've never fasted, that's something to consider. Another thing I like to tell people, like with astrology, that's helped me greatly, particularly if you're a 12th house person, 4th house person, past life regression, which is a form of deep meditation that can help you tune into yourself. None of this can be found within your chart. So just to be clear, this doesn't mean that I'm no longer offering readings. I very much so am. I'm just trying to find a way in which I am not boxed into a topic that doesn't fully do my whole being justice. All right. So I'd love some feedback on your thoughts on this, but let's get into the video. So when it comes onto a Aries being in a low vibrational state, this person is going to be extremely defensive. They are going to be non-receptive towards the ideas of others. This here is, I guess, a little tricky. And what you need to know here is the reason for this type of low vibration is because the opposite sign of Aries is Libra. So in actuality, it's not that Aries needs to listen to what others needs to say, but that they gain balance from being receptive towards the input of others. They become a better self by implementing those suggestions. Another thing I'll say for a low vibrational Aries is that being around them is not motivating. I'm a Gemini, so I sextile Aries. And Aries is the perfect complementary adventure partner. You have an idea, they have the impulse that supports that. So a low vibrational Aries isn't adventurous. They aren't motivating to be around. A low vibrational Taurus. This ties in perfectly with what I was saying about fasting. Low vibrational Taurus is one who thinks pleasure is life, that there should be nonstop amounts of pleasure and pursuits of pleasure. So a low vibrational Taurus is pretty much just going to be gluttonous. This doesn't just mean food, but this means all appetites. This is someone who doesn't discipline the self, but wants to consume all that the material world has to offer. And then I also add that another way to recognize a low vibrational Taurus person or even second house person is not being fixed in your own personal values enough. So Taurus or second house people should have principles that they live by, identify with, and that ultimately make them a little bit stubborn. A low vibrational Gemini is going to be extremely gossip oriented and superficial within its communications. This is the Gemini that just wants to keep the conversation going, or the type of Gemini that is into small talk. You'll always know you're dealing with a more advanced Gemini when there isn't a desire for small talk. We can do it, but to enjoy it is to enjoy a lower meaning of the mind, okay? And then I will add with Gemini, there can be, I would say, like superficial judgments, okay? And this will just play out in whatever type of way. This kind of be said for all air signs, but it's not that they'll critiquing, it's how they critique. Like they're critiquing without proper depth, okay? Kind of almost like a nitpicking quality to it, all right? Whereas the high vibrational Gemini, or most Geminis, many little things don't bother us, all right? So food for thought. A low vibrational Cancer cannot control their emotions. And this doesn't mean that they cry a lot. A low vibrational Cancer makes impulsive decisions based on their emotions. So when we really be real here, and no one says this a lot, but Cancer is actually one of the most manipulative signs. And it becomes manipulative when there isn't control over the emotions. One is just reacting. This can be said for a lot of different signs, and it really plays towards the ego. But the way in which this comes out is a little bit more pronounced in Cancer. Another low vibrational Cancer quality is not having pride in your family or culture. We all choose to be born into a bloodline for a reason. And if you have Cancer or fourth house energy, there's something within that bloodline that you can use to your advantage if you acknowledge that. This doesn't deal with the family. You could not want to talk to your family or, keep them at bay and still observe particular things of your culture or family tradition. So a low vibrational Cancer kind of loses sight of that. Therefore, emotionally, they're a little off. This is an interesting one because when I made the video about jealous signs, a lot of people felt like Leo was one of them. I'll go ahead and say that a low vibrational Leo can exhibit strong jealousy of others. But the key thing to note about the natural function of Leo energy is that it's self-focused. So naturally, when the Leo is operating in a good space, they're focused on what they can control and improving their self. So when the focus slips to outside of self and one is constantly focused on others, that is a product of a low vibration. But in just natural essence, the sign isn't really designed to be jealous of others. It actually wants to support others. It wants them to shine. So food for thought there. Virgo. Virgo operating in a low vibration is a Virgo who is always complaining. They might feel victimized depending on the circumstance, or they might feel they deserve better. It's not feeling that makes them low vibrational. It's how it affects how they show up. At its core, Virgo energy is designed to outwork others. So if there is a feeling that I'm not getting the same opportunity or acknowledgement as others, I need to work harder. And we have several Virgos that showed us this at a high degree. Do I even need to name them? We all know them, all right? Virgo, the house of legends. And then another low vibrational Virgo quality is not wanting to work. If you are lazy, if you don't want to work on yourself or at minimum a problem area in your life, you're operating in a low vibration. As I said, Virgo energy is designed to want to put in the work. So when that doesn't occur or there's an unwillingness to do so, the vibration is low. All right? Libra. Libra operating in a high vibration. I'm going to keep it simple. They are haters. They are haters. Everything about others annoys them. Rather than seeing what others are doing and using that in a productive way, the low vibrational Libra allows it to create a bigger inferior complex. Okay? So when you hear a Libra making little catty remarks about others, it can be simple stuff. They're not being jealous. They're being low vibrational. When you have the Libra, and I swear I see this a lot in Venus and Libra. Naturally, it's Venus sign and position, but anyone who has a Venus and Libra in their life, you'll know when someone genuinely supports you and wants you to win. But like I said, if it's in a low vibration, all of that kind of goes to the opposite. And you'll feel like, man, this person isn't as supportive as I thought they would be. That's letting you know they're in a low vibration. A low vibrational Scorpio, this is literally from the Gemini Brown perspective. I could have tailored this to make it make astrological sense, but I'm keeping it real with y'all because this is really how you understand the energy. A low vibrational Scorpio is someone who wants what others have. And to give you an example, this is a Scorpio type that is willingly participating in an affair. Straight up. Willingly. There's a song by Sabrina Carpenter called Taste. I really suggest you guys listen to that. The gist of it is she's like, yo, you're going to be tasting me while he's kissing you. That's some low vibrational Scorpio shit. High vibrational Scorpio holds sex, intimacy, loyalty, and high regard. So I'm not even going to like dance around that, but that's what it is. Low vibrational Sagittarius, similar to Aries in the sense of if you don't feel good being around the Sag, if you don't feel like you're learning or expanding or being supported, this Sag is operating in low vibration. Now, if you're the Sag person, if you are not aspiring, if your arrow isn't on a target, you are operating in low vibration. All the mutable signs always have work to do. When we really look at Sagittarius, their work is like always becoming something that they want to be. It is the sign of the dreamer. Like, what are your dreams and what is the life that you're living to pursue those? The low vibrational Sag, because they don't have their arrow on something, they may be critiquing others who have their arrow or eyes on their own aspirations. All right. And then, like with all the fire signs, there can be defensiveness to things that they need to hear because they don't want to be told so. All right. This is an interesting one. Capricorn. I was just around some people that told me in their experience with Capricorn, that they experienced Capricorns as being very emotional. And I was like, wow, I was like, that's because you're close to them and they're allowing you to see that. But if you ask that same Capricorn's co-workers how they are, I don't think they would identify them as emotional. But the low vibrational Capricorn also isn't aspiring or working towards anything. The low vibrational Capricorn actually is the type that can be seen as like a fake spiritualist in a sense, because they may come with a rhetoric of like, money doesn't mean anything or the things of the material world doesn't. But energetically, there are things within themselves that they want to accomplish. They just haven't cultivated enough ambition to pursue them. Because remember, Capricorn is the pursuit of success. It is the discipline that we enact to win or achieve some semblance of success. Okay, so food for thought right there. A low vibrational Aquarius. I could go a couple of ways with this one. The first one I'll say with the low vibrational Aquarius, wanting to belong too much. And the thing with this energy is that when it's at its highest expression, it truly doesn't care about what others think of them, only if they're serving their own will of their soul. That's what brings them satisfaction. But Aquarius energy in a low vibrational state is very concerned with what others think of them and is ultimately searching for acceptance. Okay? Another thing with low vibrational Aquarius energy is going to be reluctance or openness towards embracing new things like technology. This is the sign of tech. So in actuality, like when you have Aquarius energy, you're more in line to understand something that others may not yet, right? It's just a matter of giving yourself the opportunity to explore it. So when you have a non-experimental Aquarius, they're likely operating in a low vibration. And we get to Pisces. Pisces in a low vibration doesn't have a sense of self. They're all over the place in many ways. So remember, this is the sign of like homelessness, the drifter, the martyr. So to some extent, how the person wants to achieve things and then be able to freely let that go. If the person has a reluctance to achieve anything for themselves, they're operating in a low vibration. And a lot of times it's an expectation that things should be given to me. Because like I said, with Pisces, it's interesting because it's like homelessness shouldn't exist within the abundance of what earth entails. But when we really examine life, you at some point have to build your home. You have to decide, this is where I want to live. This is the materials I want to use to build it. There is some work that is required. So Pisces who don't have money, love, or a home have failed to do the necessary work to mentally attract those things. Okay? And then a quintessential one of Pisces energy in the low vibration is feeling victimized. Is feeling like no matter what I do, nothing is ever going to be good enough. So I just wanted to give you guys this perspective on low vibrational signs. And so you make sure, you're not really operating in this state. I hope everything I said on this video today was, understood. I look forward to your feedback. If you need a reading, check out my website, GeminiRound.com. Check out my album, Sunday Gemini 2. Till next time, peace.